Hello everyone. We will start ecological footprint. Let's study our objectives. We will define ecological footprint, biocapacity, and overshooting day. Then at the end of the lecture, we will practice our ecological footprint. So, Global Footprint Network is a very big network that calculates the global footprint, ecological footprint for individuals, for cities, and for countries. And every year they calculated Earth Overshoot Day. For 2020, they calculated Earth Overshoot Day as August 22nd. What does this mean? August 22nd means this is the date that we have used as much from nature as Earth can renew in the entire year. This day in 2018 was August 1st. It is extended a little bit this year. I think this is because of the COVID. You know, during COVID, we drive less. There was locked down. We were all at home. Less driving. We use less paper in schools. I think that creates less carbon pollution, and that is why we postpone our Earth Overshoot Day a little bit. But ideally, we need to use as nature produce. We shouldn't overshoot here. So it should be 365 days. However, we consume faster than Earth can produce. How do they calculate this? I was very curious about that. How do we measure overshooting day? So what they do, they calculated Earth biocapacity divided by humanity's ecological footprint, and then they multiply it 365 days. So what is biocapacity? What is Earth's biocapacity? It is the productive area available to provide resources we use and to absorb our waste. For example, fisheries to produce fish, agriculture, forestry, all water resources, and also the services that environment produces, like absorbing our waste. That is all calculated as a biocapacity. Human ecological footprint is land and water area needed to produce the resources that we use and absorb the waste that we generate. So to calculate overshoot day, they take the biocapacity area divided by footprint. Let's give some example here. I went to Global Footprint Network and I find out the ecological footprint for United States of America. For America, it is 8.2 global hectare area per person, and our biocapacity is 3.8 global hectare area per person, which means we can produce this much of resources, but we are using 8.2 resources. It means we are using more than we can produce, and we are ecological debtor country. Let's give another example here. This is Mozambique. Mozambique is a very small country in Africa, and the ecological footprint is 0.9 global hectare area per person, and they produces 2.1 global hectare area per person as a biocapacity. So they use less than they generate. They have extra resources. They have more resources that the persons in that country use. And these countries are called ecological creditor. So they are creating more resources for the rest of the earth. And look at this gap. Look at all this gap. We are using almost 10 times more resources than this country. How about Earth? How about general Earth? So if you combine all these countries, all the countries on the Earth, we have 1.7 global hectare area biocapacity, but we are using 2.8 global hectare area per person. We are using more than we can generate. So when you take this number, when you take 1.7 divided by, remember this formula? Remember this formula? When you take this number divided by this number and multiply 365 days, you can calculate the Earth overshoot day. And if these are the numbers, we are doing something wrong. This is not a sustainable life if you are using more than you have. Imagine like if you have a bank account and in your bank account, if you are spending more money than you have, it's a bankruptcy, right? So it is the same thing for our Earth. We are using more Earth resources that we can generate, and at one point it's going to be a bankruptcy. And what happens here? Look, these countries are generating more resources, but these rich countries like United States, they are using their resources. They are using 10 times more of the poor countries' resources. Even they almost produce the same amount of resources, right? So this is a very unfair situation. And this web page again, they draw this graph. They started 1961 to 2008, and they compare the ecological footprint of the countries. Look at these low-income countries. It doesn't change much, right? Low income, stay low income. They didn't change any ecological footprint. Middle-income countries, that they develop a little bit, they start wasting more resources. And look at these high-income countries, right? They are like, these are using one Earth. These are using more than 4 Earth global hectare area per person. And there's a very drastic observation here, very scary observation. Earth's biocapacity is changing significantly. And that happens in like 50 years. In 50 years, the resources we have change from almost 3 to 1.7, right? This is a very, very scary graph, I think. And there's one more thing here. 17% of the population consumes 80% of the resources. It is like giving 4 apples to this one person and giving this one apple this 4 person. It is not we don't have the resources. We have enough resources, but global consumption is uneven and it is inefficient. Remember the rules for the sustainability? One of them was the equality, right? And that is one of the problem about the sustainability. So this Global Footprint Network website measures our ecological footprint for individuals, for cities, and for businesses. And I go through and took the test I showed you in the last video. And what happened here? If everyone on the earth lived like me, we need 3.2 Earths. Remember the number for the United States. The average is 8.2, right? 8.2 Earths for the United States. I am far below than the Earth, but still I am using 3.2 times more resources that Earth can generate. This is not like fully my decision, right? If there is no public transportation available from my home to my work, that is something I need to drive, like I need to use gasoline for this one. What I can do there, maybe I can change my car. I can do more recycle. I can quit eating meat because one of them was the meat. Remember, like the production of this meat. It is very, very unsustainable. We will also discuss this part. So maybe I can quit eating meat. So these are something I discuss by myself. Why can't I get my footprint score within the means of one planet? So when you click on this one, you can go and see some discussions, what you can change in your life. So let's summarize here. What we learned is humanity uses more resources than the earth provides. Global consumption is unevenly distributed, and favors only a few and is also extremely inefficient. An ecological footprint is a great tool to assess our pressure on the planet so we can see the big picture. That's all today, and I want you to go to this web page and take the quiz and calculate your ecological footprint and overshoot day. Bye everyone.